Okay, this is a shout out to my blues. Um, Before, when I was saying about plug and playing dreams, or if you're somebody without eyeballs, um, when you grab a rope and you spin a rope in your hands, down from the spot, there's another spot that'll spin another loop. It'll look like a sideways microwave frequency. Bigger, smaller, bigger, smaller, bigger, smaller. Each one having the same output as the one prior. So when I say helix or helix lines and we practice breaking them, when I see them move, move fast, they're always bending. Um, and they're free flowing or they're adjustable. So I was thinking this morning about how cool would it be for you to grab a dream and touch it and then to spin around it like a frog's radius of its wherever it goes, just run around it. But even better is if you can shape a dream into a hexagon and you can touch just off the first comfortable spot for a balanced speed off of a hexagon, which would be a 5-pointed stars joining force off of 2 points. 5-pointed star. So right there, here's center, there you are. For maximum speed with as little work as possible. If you've got the ability to hold attention, which I know you can, or to keep a spin like you are a record player, I would like to believe that outside helixes that are free floating are people that flash frames per rate being different pitcher. I'm not sure if each pitcher is doing a harmonic dance, if it's just flashing, or if it takes touching to make it dance harmonically to your algorithm. So by spinning a dream, I would like to think that it would start tornadoing, having a velocity core that far exceeds the top, or it would be the top, but it would have more of a pull-in. I think that the helixes would bridge multiple pitchers together, but to make it mandala, to make it go fat, small, fat, because if you think on water, what a hurricane does in it's touching water is it's going to make the water spin too. So the water being a different pitcher, but we would say the ceiling of our atmosphere or of our cloud, an atmosphere that we're all under. We want to be able to bridge that with one solidary line so we can get the picture of the water surface and a picture from our ceiling and make it one picture so that it's easier for characters to enter and leave or have the emotional stability that we need to keep singing. When it comes to the music goers, when we have a high and a low and it's one frequency, bang or rip, I would like to be able to see a percussion go from the top point down on a harmonic doot 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 doot, but to create the algorithm of a heart or of fluidity to travel. Right now, when I'm hearing harmonics in the music, I hear one voice. I'm just going to call it Gandalf. It's unbiased, but it is the frequency that is tone, not verbal music. Very song happy dance. But my curiosity would be with that and others where I can, to me, if I was going to engineer it, I would say, can you sing this? And you sing this? And then I'd push a button and synthesize it. But it's not actually harmonic. It's harmonic on a scale, but it's not tethered. They're not getting the emotional reprieve. I can see that the voices I can hear that they're the same tone, but they're not binding yet. There's a membrane needs to get squished together. So when it comes to quintessence, and it comes to multi-species spectral force. I've got a species that can drain me. I got a species that can inflate magnetism. I got a species that can hum magnetism. If you're pulsing a magnetism or an atmosphere, is that the same as singing one? I don't think so. We need to be able to join the frequency person with the frequency singer. So if they were a membrane, if they didn't have a physical body, but their body was just a circle, an orb, which we're all orbs. If you blur your I can make my vision blurry. I can make my eyes focus by myself. And I can go from having crystal clarity to making my vision blurry. And I can cause it to happen whenever I want. So I can make a triangle look like a fucking circle if I want to. I can make it so I can't see the contrast between dark and light. It'll turn into a blob. I can do that. So with that said, to vibrate a frequency from one to the other, to be that heartbeat line, or to be somebody that can pull with a tentacle, you'd say tentacle meaning taste bud or a vacuum. If we think of it as just a cylinder tube, how can my ether being a thought wave that would be transferred in a smell, and it's the only way that I can soulmate with a different frequency when I can't sing per se, and we'll say antlers or we'll say antennas, but pretend that I can't sing like that. Unless I'm in pain and my soul is crying, or I'm a tree, a singing tree. Harmonics for a singing tree is probably pretty fucking perfect. But to be able to do it, when we think of snails, an amylate shell looking like a seahorse, or those little octopus from a germ to a full-size giant octopus, squirting black ink everywhere. They're going to spray black ink everywhere. We'll think of that as its quintessence overflow. Some would say it's poisonous, but it might be, unless it's had an altercation, being a physical entity, sucking it, and being a ladder's got two sides, and then stairs on it, like a helix, if it's spun. So to get from an amylite to a seahorse would be an anomaly. It wouldn't happen, just like a seahorse can't turn into a jellyfish. But what I think is it's the next spot of its evolution. Would it happen? A jellyfish will keep cloning itself back and forth through time, creating the same sequence, waiting for that right wind or stream or atmospheric river, or be at the right place for the right frequency rain to hit it perfectly, which is very anomalous. It's not going to happen naturally very easy, especially when we're moving planets around and we might be moving frequencies to faraway stops. It might take a lot longer for it to come back, which was something we needed. So I would say, and then for me, hearing the pops, the same as I would when I get this, is the same reprieve that I get in my head when I work my quantum entanglement. So I also hear a fart-like noise, but I heard it enter somebody else's pop. So to me, it was symbolization of somebody moving one quintessence into the other to be able to pop, to be able to endorphin, maybe for the first time, not for the first time in a while, or first time with a new path, new partner, so if if it happened, so before, what would happen to it is it would only happen on a timed relay after I happened. It happened this time first, and then I happened. Um, but I still think mine went to waste. So I would need, I think that you guys like the term subspecies. I think every subspecies should be entangled through, you get as much pleasure from having sex as setting up somebody else that has a successful relationship. If you make two spirits come together and you're responsible for it, their happiness will bring you happiness. So that will help you because your placebo effect will go up, and then you will intrigue a mate based off of when you sweat, perspirate, your adrenaline, you'll smell like fucking hamburgers. It's disgusting. But if you're happy and charismatic and stoked or got a good placebo, your whole smell will be different. It will attract a better soulmate, or one on your level. You can attract a soulmate on your shitty level down here, or you can attract one up here. They're both suitable for you. But which one do you want to garden with? This one or this one? I like to be happy. The frequencies around me on a decibel level are happier than I am at my mental state. So I'm striving towards their excellence to be able to be harmonic with them. Sometimes that happens through our experiences with having sex first to give somebody your ether. Here you go. Here's my injection. Here's my SQL. But that doesn't mean you're harmonic. It just means you shared an experience 100% happier than where you were. And the placebo was still there because you set us up. So because of that, you attracted your soulmate. So now we might be separated, but we might both look at you and be like, holy fuck, they just had kids and now we're each godparent. Now we each get to share their kids. Even though we're not together, or maybe we'll come back together later. Right now we're just trying to assemblate a frequency of a Mandela effect. And it's going to take integration on a whole bunch of different levels. When you die, you're going to be able to go back and forth and explore every sequence that you started. So while you're alive, you want to start as many sequences as you can. So that way you can bring in all your soulmates together, because everyone's fucking been important to you. Every relationship's been special. Once you fall in love with somebody, you might not want to spend time with them, but you'll always think about their best parts. Always. Unless you do some serious fucking training. But when you're dead, I don't think their worst parts matter. Unless you're my bad guy. Then you're just fucked. You see what I'm doing here? I still fucking hate you. You've destroyed this fucking planet. And I still want to leave. I just want to have a whole bunch of ropes behind for my good guys. And the babes. So if you're listening to this, you're part of the Qualicum without the revenue. You're just quality. When you're spinning, you can try to oscillate it. If you can hear something coming from it, a whine or something, you can try stopping it and spinning in a different direction. You can have fun with it. Spin it one way, walk the other way. You got to keep yourself entertained for 90 minutes. Maybe sing to it a little bit. Or flip it the bird. Things like to see that. It makes everybody laugh. You can also pull in, probably very easy, if while you're spinning it, if you already know that dream's been connected by those spirits, by that bird, by that alien, by that person underneath the mask, or that subspecies. If the relationship's already there, it's not going anywhere. It's very easily triggered interpersonal. So it's really easy to adapt into a mandala. As, oh, well, I remember you. Now all of a sudden I remember that last dream. You know? It's already got a footprint. We just need to remember where it is while we're spinning. I might not be able to picture message like you unless I'm doing sacred things. It might be your way of life. But your way of life still has a footprint. Whether your persona of a dream is different than the dream holder or the dream walker, and you can only watch it but not experience it through their eyes, I don't know. But you still have emotional expression even if you're watching it, if it's a humorous standpoint to you, if somebody gets hit in the nuts with a football. But that person that got hit in the nuts, it's not very fun. Last night I was remembering in my dream, I kept remembering that I don't eat hamburger, but I tested it 3 times. It had no flavor or no smell. But I was barbecuing and it kept falling through the barbecue. And I didn't want it to get wasted. That animal died for nothing. And every time it was on the barbecue, it was just falling through the barbecue. I should have put it in a frying pan and made sloppy joes out of it. But instead it all got burnt away. All of it. So we got more grounds to go off of. Which frequency needs the most help is the one that needs a bridge so that you being single, you're going to help yourself by putting yourself out there. Because even if you're not attracted to that, or you think it's disturbing or gross, you don't know who's in that network. So you better start watching your fucking mouth. Because your soulmate is my best friend. And as much as I don't want to make you, I don't want to say something that will cause you to not like somebody for the same reasons I do. But when you keep saying the same shit over and over again without thinking about it, you keep making the same footprint over and over again. I always try to lift up as much as I kick down. Pick it up, put it down. Maybe I'll pick it up and put it up. I'll put it up while it's already up and let it sit there for a while. Maybe you should try going underneath the dream and lifting it up. Or passing it. Anyways, when we skip rope, that same technique that's used to make a lasso or that rope fold, when it's skipped properly, it's 2 ropes held by 2 people and 1 person skipping in the middle. 1 person spinning and somebody that can speak the same language at the same time, a watcher from a dream, somebody can put their head in and look. Oh my God, it's working. I'm going to show you pictures. It's working. I'm not going to disturb it yet. But I can tell you it's working. You're busy. Good job. We've heard a repercussion today off of the feeling where I had opposite of when you guys were shooting me inside of my head with guns. Opposite of you making me smell death. Or crunching bones. Today was quintessence on its finest. And it wasn't anomalous because multiple people, spirits, and fellow medians were experiencing the same thing. And it was audible. So I would be trying to work right now, maybe with the trees a little bit. Just a thought. Special ones. And when you think about mixing somebody's quintessence or ether and you being the mixer, you have to think about one person has an image. One person, you guys like to pull from right here. It makes your pictures brighter. But that other person, this is bright, this is light. That other person is pure dark, pure black stuff. It makes pure bright stuff even brighter. And it'll make it last longer. Don't paint a picture unless you leave enough paint behind there for somebody else to come and add their artistic touch on it. Just don't do it. Unless there's an abundance of paint and it stays wet. So the people that have the ability to grab a helix, if you're not jumping a rope with somebody in the middle, that somebody in the middle can hold a helix just fine too and touch you right in the belly button and never get in the way of your hands. I'll show you. Jumping rope. Poking me right here, middleman. This is all it takes. It's never getting in the way. 3 movements. That's a full core between integrated of 3 species. Once the person can't trip anymore, 1, 2, 3, touch. Something new to try. Good luck and prosper.